Welcome back, my viewers, to my YouTube channel Timecoins. Today I'm bringing you one of the most detailed, deeply researched, and historically rich journeys on this channel as we explore the complete story, background, symbolism, artistry, cultural value, and historical significance of the 2001 United States quarter dollar, which is an extraordinary part of the legendary 50-state quarters program. This program, launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999 and lasting until 2008, was one of the most important and widely collected modern coin programs in the world, inspiring millions of children, adults, educators, historians, and numismatists to start coin collecting and to learn about American history through beautifully designed circulating currency. The year 2001 was the third year of this massive project, and during this year, 5 states were honored: New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Kentucky. Each of these states added its own rich heritage, historical achievements, cultural pride, and unique identity to the series. The purpose of today's video is to take you deep into the meaning behind these designs, why they were chosen, what historical events they represent, how they connect to American identity, and what makes the 2001 quarter some of the most beloved in the entire series. To begin this journey, let us start with New York. The first quarter of 2001, which is far more than just a state on the map, it is a global symbol of hope, resilience, power, innovation, migration, and freedom. The reverse design of the New York quarter beautifully combines the outline of the state, the symbolic flow of the Erie Canal, and the majestic Statue of Liberty standing proudly in the foreground, representing the state's historic role as the gateway to freedom for millions of immigrants arriving in the 19th and 20th centuries. The first thing they saw was Lady Liberty, raising her torch high above the harbor, a message that freedom, opportunity, and a new life awaited them. The Erie Canal, completed in 1825, transformed America's economy forever by connecting the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, making New York City the commercial powerhouse it is today. This canal lowered transportation costs, increased trade, encouraged population growth, and opened the American interior to development. The New York quarter captures all of these themes in one powerful scene: immigration, opportunity, innovation, economic transformation, and the diversity that defines America. From New York, we move to North Carolina, whose 2001 quarter features one of the most important events in human history: the first powered flight achieved by the Wright brothers in 1903 at Kitty Hawk. This single moment changed the world forever. Before this achievement, humans had dreamed of flying for thousands of years. Myths, experiments, attempts, and failures filled the long journey toward controlled flight. Yet on that cold December morning, Orville and Wilbur Wright made the impossible possible, launching human aviation. Their success marked the birth of the aviation age, which would go on to reshape travel, warfare, communication, science, and globalization. The design on the quarter shows the Wright Flyer in mid-flight, with the brother controlling the aircraft. The words "first flight" are not just a slogan. They represent courage, innovation, scientific curiosity, and the unstoppable spirit of human progress. Without this moment, modern air travel, international routes, space exploration, and global interconnection would not exist. The North Carolina quarter not only honors this milestone, but reminds collectors that a single moment of success can change the destiny of the world. Next, we move toward the coastal beauty of Rhode Island, the smallest state in America, but one with a massive maritime legacy. The Rhode Island quarter celebrates the state's deep connection to the ocean through the image of a sailboat gliding across the calm waters of Narragansett Bay. This bay has been central to Rhode Island's culture, economy, and identity for hundreds of years. Ships that once carried goods, people, ideas, and culture sailed these waters. In the design, the Pell Bridge in the background symbolizes connection, progress, and modern engineering. Known as the Ocean State, Rhode Island has always relied on the sea for fishing, trade, shipbuilding, naval strength, tourism, and coastal communities that have shaped its history. The quarter's peaceful composition reflects sailing traditions, freedom, natural beauty, and the rhythm of life by the ocean. It stands as a tribute to a state where history, water, and culture flow together seamlessly. From the coast, we travel inland toward the quiet, serene landscapes of Vermont, a state known for its forests, mountains, and deep rural traditions. The Vermont Quarter features an iconic image of a farmer gathering sap from maple trees, a process that dates back centuries and represents patience, tradition, respect for nature, and the heart of Vermont's agricultural identity. Maple syrup production is not merely a business there. It is a lifestyle passed down through generations. The presence of Camel's Hump Mountain in the background adds to the natural beauty and reinforces the state's connection to its land. Of all the state quarters, Vermont's design is one of the most peaceful, representing harmony between humans and nature. It honors the hardworking rural communities that built the state and reminds us that progress does not always mean technology. Sometimes it means tradition, consistency, and living close to the land. Finally, we reach Kentucky, the last state featured in the 2001 series. The Kentucky Quarter beautifully captures the essence of Southern charm, history, and cultural pride. The design features Federal Hill, the historic mansion associated with the song My Old Kentucky Home, which is deeply rooted in American cultural memory. In front of the mansion stands a thoroughbred horse behind an elegantly crafted fence, symbolizing Kentucky's world-renowned horse breeding tradition and the famous Kentucky Derby. Horse racing is not just a sport in Kentucky, it is a tradition, a heritage, and a symbol of excellence and prestige. This coin blends architecture, music, agriculture, and tradition into one powerful image, making it one of the most beautiful quarters in the series. When we look at Kentucky's quarter, we see how history and culture come together to form the identity of a state that has influenced music, horse breeding, Southern culture, and American heritage. When all five designs, New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Kentucky, are brought together, we see a story of freedom, innovation, adventure, nature, culture, and pride. The 2001 state quarters represent different aspects of the American spirit: the hope of immigrants, the courage of inventors, the strength of maritime tradition, the peacefulness of rural life, and the elegance of Southern heritage. These coins circulated in the hands of millions, reaching nearly every household in America and many around the world. They sparked a numismatic revolution, encouraging even non-collectors to save, study, and appreciate coins. For young collectors, these quarters became a gateway into learning history. For adults, they became a nostalgic connection to heritage. For historians, they became miniature symbols of state identity. And for numismatists, they became a masterpiece of modern coin design. The 2001 quarters remain highly collectible today, not only because of their beauty, but because of the deep stories they tell. This is why, my dear viewers, today's video is not about just a coin, it is about traveling through different states, cultures, societies, and historical moments, all captured in the palm of your hand. So stay with me until the end, because in this video we are not simply learning facts. We are experiencing history, art, emotion, and time itself through the story of the 2001 Quarter Dollar series. Now that we have explored the symbolic, artistic, cultural, and historical foundations of the 2001 state quarters, my dear viewers, let us continue our journey by diving even deeper into the creation process, minting technology, production scale, collector interest, error varieties, and numismatic value that make the 2001 quarters a remarkable and unforgettable chapter in modern coin history. The U.S. Mint, responsible for producing the coins of the United States since the 1790s, played an extraordinary role in ensuring that each 2001 state quarter carried both artistic precision and durable quality. In 2001, quarters were minted primarily at two major facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P Mint mark, and the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark. These mint marks are located on the obverse side of the coin, beside the portrait of George Washington. While millions of quarters were produced at both facilities, the meaning of these mint marks extends far beyond a simple letter. They are indicators of the coin's birthplace, historical production cycle, and sometimes even rarity. Collectors often look for patterns between the two mints, noting that some years have a more desirable strike strength, sharper details, or lower mintage numbers at one facility compared to the other. The 2001 quarters were struck in massive numbers because the state quarters program had become a nationwide sensation. Millions of Americans participated in collecting them, making the program one of the most successful public engagement campaigns in the history of the U.S. Mint. Children kept folders with maps where they inserted each state as it was released. Grandparents saved rolls of new quarters for their families, and hobby collectors bought mint sets and proof sets to preserve pristine examples of every design. The high demand encouraged the mint to produce both circulation strikes and collector editions, ensuring that people across all age groups and communities could access these beautiful coins. The regular circulation asterisk coins were made of copper nickel clad, giving them durability for daily use. Collector versions, however, included proof coins, which were produced at the San Francisco Mint. These proofs came in two main varieties: standard clad proofs and 90% silver proofs, which remain highly desirable due to their brilliant mirror-like fields, frosted devices, and superior strike quality. Proof coins undergo a special striking process where the dies are polished, the blanks are specially prepared, and each coin is struck multiple times to bring out even the smallest details. This gives proof coins a stunning beauty unmatched by regular circulation quarters. But beyond the official mint production, one of the most fascinating aspects of the 2001 state quarters, and in fact the entire state quarter series, is the existence of error coins, accidental varieties created during the minting process. These errors can include off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchettes, double strikes, die caps, missing clad layers, and sometimes even wrong planchette strikes. In 2001, several notable errors occurred, especially on high-volume releases like the New York and North Carolina quarters. For example, some New York quarters showed die cracks running through the state outline, giving collectors a unique variation that is highly sought after. Some 2001 coins were also struck on experimental or transitional planchettes. Occasionally, a blank intended for a different denomination or metal composition accidentally entered the press. These rare pieces can be worth dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error, the visibility of the mistake, and the overall condition of the coin. Because of this, collectors worldwide continue to carefully inspect 2001 quarters, hoping to discover a rare treasure that slipped through the mint's quality control. The values of 2001 state quarters vary greatly depending on grade, rarity, demand, and whether the coin is a regular strike, proof, silver proof, or error piece. A typical 2001 quarter found in circulation is asterisk, worth its face value, but uncirculated examples, especially from mint sets, can fetch higher prices. Coins graded by professional third-party grading companies such as PCGS or NGC are especially valued because they come with certified authenticity and a guaranteed grade. High-grade specimens, especially those graded MS68 or MS69, can command significant prices in the collector market because they are extremely hard to find from normal circulation. Proof coins, especially deep cameo silver proofs, have their own premium market where condition and visual beauty matter greatly. Many collectors aim to assemble a complete 50-state quarter collection in the highest grade possible, making the 2001 series an essential centerpiece of the entire set. The silver proof sets of 2001 are particularly admired because the designs shine brilliantly against the reflective fields, making the artwork on each state even more striking and detailed. But the importance of the 2001 quarters extends beyond economics and collecting. They represent cultural memory, pride, and education. Schools across America use them as teaching tools for geography, History, economics, culture, and art teachers would give students new quarters each time a state was released, creating excitement and curiosity about the country. The program also strengthened the bond between older and younger generations. Many grandparents introduced their grandchildren to coin collecting through the state quarters, creating priceless memories and keeping the hobby alive. The year 2001 holds a special emotional significance as well. It was a year when America faced tragedy, and coins like the New York quarter carried deeper meaning after the events of September 11. People began to see the Statue of Liberty not only as a symbol of hope, but also as a symbol of resilience, unity, and national strength. The state quarters reminded people of the identity, heritage, and spirit of the nation during a time of hardship, making the 2001 designs emotionally powerful. Meanwhile, numismatic researchers admire the 2001 quarters for their artistic complexity. The designs required collaboration between artists, sculptors, engravers, historians, and state officials. Each state held a design competition where residents submitted ideas. Committees reviewed these ideas, governors selected finalists, and the U.S. Mint engraved the final designs. This democratic approach ensured that every quarter truly represented the voice and vision of its statespeople. The sculptors at the Mint worked meticulously to capture each element, whether it was the folds of Lady Liberty's robe, the curvature of the Wright Flyer's wings, the texture of the sailboat's lines, the bark of Vermont's maple trees, or the fine details of Kentucky's fence rails. Each symbol had meaning. Each design had depth. Every line was carved with purpose. This level of craftsmanship transformed ordinary circulating coins into miniature works of art. Collectors today view the 2001 quarters as some of the most significant pieces in modern American coinage. They represent the diversity of landscapes, cultures, achievements, and values within the United States. They also mark the midpoint of a larger national conversation, where states expressed pride in their heritage and shared their identity with the entire nation. Whether you admire the engineering triumph of the Erie Canal, the aviation breakthrough at Kitty Hawk, the maritime beauty of Narragansett Bay, the peaceful maple forests of Vermont, or the aristocratic elegance of Kentucky's horse farms, the 2001 quarters offer something meaningful for every historian, collector, or enthusiast. These coins encourage us to reflect on the idea that money is not just a tool of trade. It is a vessel of memory. Every coin carries the story of a place, a people, a moment, and a cultural identity. This is why the 2001 quarters continue to be collected, studied, cherished, and preserved in albums, boxes, envelopes, frames, and showcases around the world. So, my dear viewers, as we continue our journey through this video, remember that what you hold in your hand is not just a quarter, it is a window into history, a piece of art, a cultural symbol, and a chapter in the legacy of the United States. The story of the 2001 quarters teaches us that even the smallest objects can hold enormous meaning. And on my channel Time Coins, our mission is to uncover those meanings, explore hidden histories, and bring the world of numismatics to life in a beautiful and educational way. As we move further into the story of the 2001 state quarters, it becomes clear that these coins were not just metallic tokens used for buying everyday items. They became pieces of American identity, symbols of cultural pride, and educational tools for millions of families. Each design from 2001 represents a chapter of the United States that deserves to be remembered. The New York quarter, for example, carried the Statue of Liberty, a universal icon of hope and freedom. For many immigrants entering America, the first sight they saw was Lady Liberty standing tall in the harbor, welcoming them to a land full of opportunities. When this image was placed on the quarter, it reminded collectors and ordinary citizens of the courage, struggle, and dreams of the millions who passed through Ellis Island. Along with this powerful symbolism, the outline of New York State and the slogan "Gateway to Freedom" reinforced its historic role in shaping America's identity. North Carolina's design takes us even deeper into the heart of innovation. The Wright brothers' first flight is not just an American achievement, it is a turning point for the entire world. Before 1903, humans could only dream of flying. The idea of controlling a machine in the sky seemed like fantasy. But on that cold December morning at Kitty Hawk, the world changed forever. When the airplane lifted off the ground for the first time, even for only 12 seconds, it proved that the human desire to reach the skies was not impossible. The 2001 quarter captures this exact moment. The fragile aircraft rising slightly above the sands of North Carolina, with Orville lying on his stomach and Wilbur running beside the plane. That single design on a coin reminds us that small beginnings often lead to monumental achievements. Then there is the Rhode Island Quarter, which celebrates the beauty of the sea. With its elegant sailboat gliding over the Narragansett Bay, the design reflects the deep maritime heritage of the state. Rhode Island may be the smallest state, but its history is rich with sailors, explorers, and navigators who braved the Atlantic. The quarter's image is calm and peaceful, yet it carries the story of thousands of journeys taken over the centuries. It symbolizes freedom, adventure, and the relationship between humans and the ocean. The bridge in the background adds a modern touch, connecting past and present. Vermont's design offers a completely different feeling. Instead of oceans and airplanes, it showcases the tranquil countryside, maple trees being tapped for syrup, mountains standing proud behind them, and a scene of quiet rural life. This quarter tells the story of a simpler time when communities depended on their land, forests, and traditions. Maple sugaring is not just a business. It is a generational craft passed down through families. The 2001 Vermont Quarter immortalizes this peaceful lifestyle, reminding collectors that not all stories of progress are noisy or dramatic. Some are rooted in nature, patience, and dedication. Finally, the Kentucky Quarter ties the entire set, together with its portrayal of Federal Hill and the racehorse standing behind the wooden fence. Kentucky's connection to horses is legendary. Racing, breeding, and equestrian culture have defined the state for centuries. Federal Hill adds the historical depth of my old Kentucky home, a place tied to the cultural memory of the region. When both symbols were placed together on a single coin, they created a design that celebrated elegance, heritage, pride, and emotion. All 5 of these 2001 state quarters show how diverse America truly is. They represent modern innovation, ancient traditions, natural beauty, cultural symbols, and historical landmarks, all captured in tiny metal discs that fit in the palm of your hand. But that is exactly what makes the state quarter program so powerful. It transformed ordinary currency into miniature history books, each telling a unique story. That is why collectors, even after more than 2 decades, still treasure these coins. They are not just part of a collection. They are memories, lessons, inspirations, and reminders of the past. It is a generational craft passed down through families. The 2001 Vermont Quarter immortalizes this peaceful lifestyle, reminding collectors that not all stories of progress are noisy or dramatic. Some are rooted in nature, patience, and dedication. Finally, the Kentucky Quarter ties the entire set, together with its portrayal of Federal Hill and the racehorse standing behind a wooden fence. Kentucky's connection to horses is legendary. Racing, breeding, and equestrian culture have defined the state for centuries. Federal Hill adds the historical depth of my old Kentucky home, a place tied to the cultural memory of the region. When both symbols were placed together on a single coin, they created a design that celebrated elegance, heritage, pride, and emotion. All 5 of these 2001 state quarters show how diverse America truly is. They represent modern innovation, ancient traditions, natural beauty, cultural symbols, and historical landmarks, all captured in tiny metal discs that fit in the palm of your hand. But that is exactly what makes the state quarter program so powerful. It transformed ordinary currency into miniature history books, each telling a unique story. That is why collectors, even after more than 2 decades, still treasure these coins. They are not just part of a collection. They are memories, lessons, inspirations, and reminders of the past. Now, as we continue our journey, It is important to explore the production, circulation, and impact of these 2001 state quarters in even greater detail. While the designs themselves are beautiful, the process behind minting them is equally fascinating. Every coin starts as a carefully designed sketch, created by artists and sculptors who study the state's history, symbols, and landmarks. The U.S. Mint holds consultations with state committees, governors, and historians to ensure accuracy, meaning, and significance. Once a design is approved, it is sculpted onto a plaster, model at several times the coin's actual size to capture every minute detail. Skilled engravers then reduce the model to coin size using a reducing machine that faithfully transfers the design to steel dies. These dies are polished and hardened to strike millions of coins, ensuring that each quarter meets the mint standards for artistry and durability. In 2001, coins were primarily minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Philadelphia coins carry a small P mint mark. While Denver coins have a D, these mint marks are small, but they are incredibly important to collectors because they can indicate rarity, production differences, or even potential value variations. In addition to circulation coins, the mint produced proof sets and silver proof sets, which were highly polished, struck multiple times for clarity, and sold directly to collectors. Proof coins showcase the design's details in perfect clarity, often with a mirrored background and frosted devices, creating a striking visual effect that elevates a simple quarter into a work of art. Collectors around the world were drawn to these 2001 quarters not only because of their designs but also because of special varieties and errors that occasionally appeared during the minting process. These errors might include off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, or missing cladding, making them highly sought after. For example, some collectors reported New York quarters with slight die cracks along the state outline, making them unique and more valuable. North Carolina coins occasionally displayed minor striking anomalies that were captured in collector sets, while Vermont and Rhode Island quarters had subtle variations in texture and finish due to production differences at the two mints. These small differences have kept collectors searching for decades, sometimes turning an ordinary coin into a highly prized numismatic treasure. The cultural and historical significance of the 2001 quarters extends far beyond their role as collectibles. They became teaching tools in schools, conversation starters in families, and catalysts for learning about geography, history, art, and civic pride. Children would follow the state quarter program with excitement, marking each state they collected on maps, learning about its location, symbols, and achievements. Adults began to see the coins as more than pocket change. They became reminders of national identity, progress, and achievement. The coins served as tangible links to America's diverse stories: innovation in flight, the courage of immigrants, maritime strength, natural resources, rural life, and cultural traditions. Furthermore, 2001 was a year of reflection for the nation. The events of that year reminded citizens of the fragility of peace and the importance of unity. Coins like the New York quarter took on additional emotional weight, symbolizing resilience, hope, and the enduring spirit of freedom. Collectors not only appreciated the artistry but also valued the meaning behind each design, recognizing that these coins were more than metal. They were small, everyday storytellers. From a numismatic perspective, the 2001 quarters remain highly collectible today. Their values depend on factors such as mint mark, condition, type of strike, and whether they are part of a proof set or show any errors. Uncirculated coins, especially those graded by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, can command premiums significantly higher than face value. Silver proof sets, with their reflective surfaces and frosted designs, are particularly desirable. Collectors aim to acquire coins in perfect condition to complete state collections, with high-grade specimens often considered the crown jewels of any collection. Beyond monetary value, these coins remind us of the power of small things to tell big stories. Each quarter is a miniature window into America's past, culture, and spirit. They inspire curiosity, learning, an appreciation for history, reminding us that every object in our lives may carry stories far richer than we realize. As we examine these coins in detail, we discover that history, art, and culture can be preserved in ways that are tangible, interactive, and visually stunning, making the 2001 State Quarters a permanent symbol of creativity, pride, and education. As we reach the final section of our journey through the 2001 State Quarters, it is important to summarize the story, significance, and continuing legacy of these coins. Each of the 5 quarters released in 2001, New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Kentucky captures unique aspects of American history, culture, and identity. The New York Quarter, with its Statue of Liberty and Erie Canal, symbolizes freedom, opportunity, and the historic role of the state as the entry point for millions of immigrants. North Carolina celebrates the Wright brothers and the first powered flight, reminding us that innovation, courage, and perseverance can transform the world. Rhode Island's sailboat on Narragansett Bay reflects maritime heritage, exploration, and the connection between humans and the ocean. Vermont's maple tree and mountains highlight the peaceful rural traditions, agriculture, and harmony with nature that define the state's identity. Kentucky combines Federal Hill and a thoroughbred horse to showcase culture, music, tradition, and equestrian excellence. Together, these coins create a beautiful mosaic of American achievements, natural beauty, and cultural pride. For collectors, the 2001 quarters remain highly desirable due to their historical significance, artistic quality, and the continuing popularity of the State Quarters program. Coins in uncirculated condition or those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC are particularly valuable. Proof coins, especially silver proofs, are prized for their mirror-like fields and frosted details. Error coins, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, double strikes, or missing clad layers, offer rare opportunities for collectors to find unique and valuable pieces. Even everyday circulated coins, when saved carefully, can become cherished collectibles over time. The key to building a strong collection is patience, attention to detail, and an understanding of the history behind each coin. In addition to their collectible value, the 2001 quarters serve as educational tools. Families, schools, and hobbyists have used them to teach geography, history, art, and civic pride. Children marking each state on a map, learning about the stories behind the designs, and discussing their significance have contributed to generations' understanding and appreciating America's diverse history. Adults, meanwhile, have discovered that coins are more than currency. They are miniature works of art, symbols of achievement, and tangible connections to the past. The 2001 quarters remind us that even small, everyday objects can carry immense meaning, providing lessons in history, perseverance, creativity, and cultural identity. For anyone interested in collecting or valuing 2001 quarters, here are a few important tips. First, check the mint mark. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for proof coins from San Francisco. Second, assess the condition. Coins without scratches, wear, or discoloration have much higher value. Third, look for errors or unique variations, which can increase the coin's rarity and worth significantly. Fourth, consider adding proof and silver-proof coins to your collection, as they often represent the highest quality examples of each design. Fifth, keep coins stored in proper albums, HOLDERs, or protective cases to preserve their condition over time. And finally, always enjoy the story behind each coin, because the history and culture they represent are often more valuable than any monetary price. In conclusion, the 2001 State Quarters are far more than pieces of metal. They are symbols of America's past, educational tools, works of art, and treasures for collectors worldwide. Each coin tells a story about freedom, innovation, nature, culture, and heritage. By studying and collecting these coins, we connect with history, appreciate the artistry, and preserve memories for future generations. They are reminders that even the smallest objects can hold the greatest stories. And here on my channel Time Coins, Our mission is to uncover these stories, explore hidden histories, and bring every coin to life in ways that are both educational and beautiful. So whether you are a seasoned collector, a beginner, or simply a history enthusiast, the 2001 quarters offer endless fascination, inspiration, and value, making them timeless pieces that will be cherished for generations to come. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the 2001 United States Quarter Dollar series. Remember, every coin has a story, and every story is worth discovering. Keep collecting, keep learning, and keep exploring with me here on Time Coins, where history lives in your hands and the past comes alive in every shine of metal. So, my dear viewers, as we wrap up our detailed journey through the 2001 United States Quarter Dollar series, it is clear that these coins are far more than just currency. Each one is a story, a piece of history, a work of art, and a reflection of the culture, achievements, and identity of its state. From New York's Statue of Liberty representing hope and freedom, to North Carolina's Wright brothers symbolizing innovation and human courage, to Rhode Island's sailboat highlighting maritime heritage, to Vermont's maple trees showcasing nature and tradition, and finally to Kentucky's Federal Hill and horse symbolizing pride and culture. Each coin tells a unique and powerful story that deserves to be remembered, cherished, and collected. Collecting these coins is not just about value or rarity, though many of them hold significant numismatic importance. It is about connecting with history, learning the stories of each state, and appreciating the artistry and symbolism engraved on every coin. The 2001 quarters continue to inspire collectors of all ages, teaching us that even a small, simple piece of metal can carry immense meaning, represent a nation's legacy, and preserve history in our hands. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2001 state quarters, make sure to check out the full video on my channel Time Coins, where I explore even more coins, their history, and hidden details. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with your friends who love coins or history. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video, because there are hundreds of coins and stories waiting to be explored. Remember, my shorts are only a small glimpse. The full detailed videos are always available on my channel for those who want the complete story. Thank you so much for watching, for being part of this journey, and for keeping the love for history and coin collecting alive. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring with me here on Time Coins, where every coin has a story, and every story comes alive in your hands. Until next time, keep collecting, sharing, and discovering the beauty of history, one coin at a time. Share this video, subscribe to my channel, and join our Time Coins family today.